Coming up on today's Locked On Senators, we're joined by Senators goaltender Mads Søgaard.
It's his third time joining the show. He tells us all about his offseason, being in the NHL with his best buddy Mando, and the impact players like Brady, Tkachuk, and Claude Giroux have on the team.
Plus, The Athletic released its list of U23 talent. Mads Søgaard, of course, on Ottawa's list, but where did they rank league-wide? All that's coming up on today's episode of the Locked On Senators podcast. It's your team every day.
Your Locked On Senators, your daily podcast on the Ottawa Senators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
I'm Jake Sanderson, and you're listening to Locked On Senators podcast.
I'm Tim Stutzel, and you're listening to the Locked On Senators podcast.
Welcome inside episode 861 of the Locked On Senators podcast. I'm Ross Levitan on the outskirts of enemy territory in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Alongside Brandon Piller up in the Blue Mountains, we want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook. It's the official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn today to get started. A reminder, you can also follow the show wherever you get your podcast, and you can subscribe on YouTube. You can find us on Twitter at Sens Central, on Instagram, LockedOn.Senators. Today is Friday, August 25th, and Pilsy, the boys are back in town. Mads is fired up for the year, and so am I.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolutely incredible year. The hype for the home opener is building and building and building, and October can't come soon enough. My God.
And if you don't get enough, on October 14th, the game against the Flyers, 1 p.m., Martian Palooza afterwards. Details to follow. Pilsy, exclusively on our YouTube link. So go to the YouTube page. The top comment, I will pin it. We're going to give first dibs to the listeners of the show an exclusive ticketing offer for the Sunday game against the Tampa Bay Lightning. I believe it's 15, 20%, whatever it is. It's extra money in your pocket to either use at the game or to keep for yourself. So discounted ticket rate in the YouTube comments. Whether you're listening, you can pull over. You can, if you're in the car, wherever you are, you can go to YouTube and get our exclusive ticketing partnership. Thank you to the Senators for hooking us up with that.
Yeah, and Ross, not only is the whole idea of it discounted tickets, but if you do get those tickets, there's a good chance you're going to be sitting in section with other listeners, other Sens fans. So it's all about just getting people together, having a good time, and trying to save you a couple extra shekels.
A reminder that in the final two games against Tampa last season in Ottawa, the combined score was 14-4.
Yeah, 7-2 victories, both of them. It was awesome.
Back to back, and we were boots on the ground for one of them. Great vibe always, and especially at the start of the year when every team thinks it's their year. Speaking of Tampa, we'll just give a quick shout out. Austin Watson, thank you for your service. A warrior. He signed a PTO, a professional tryout with the Tampa Bay Lightning, and looking at their cap friendly, Pilsy, I think he could make the team. You know why?
Why?
You know who their 12th forward is right now on cap friendly?
I wanted to say Rudolph Balcers, but I don't think that's true.
Close. Rudolph Balcers, center in Belleville.
I'm blanking.
Logan Brown.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So obviously center, wing, I get it, but I think Austin Watson does have a good chance to make that team.
I like that for him, and I think that's a type of player that would thrive there. Now that Corey Perry's not there, now look, I'm not saying Austin Watson is Corey Perry. Just chill out on that, but like
maybe more of a Patty Maroon.
Yeah. Actually, that's a better scenario. Yeah. So no Corey Perry, no Patty Maroon. So a guy like Austin Watson would kind of fill that void on the fourth line for them.
It's unfortunate that his agent miscalculated the market because word is, and I believe Bruce Garriock put this out there, Ottawa did offer him a 1-year contract to stay with the team. He wanted multi-year. Instead, he gets multi-day, multi-week in a professional tryout. But all the best to him, man. Yeah. And if he does make that team, he can remain a Detroit Red Wing killer in the division, which would help Ottawa too. So stick taps to Waddy, but just one of many vets on this Senators team that we talked to Mads Søgaard about. Mads is still in Denmark. So we're going to throw it right over to this interview. We'll come back and discuss the Athletics ranking of Ottawa Senators under 23 talent on the other side. But for now, let's get right to our interview today with Senators goaltender Mads Søgaard. All right, we now welcome a very, very special guest back to Locked On Senators for the third time. It's goaltender Mads Søgaard. Mads, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining us.
Not much. Thanks for having me again.
So you're still in Denmark. You've been working out there all summer. What's the plan to get back for training camp?
I should be arriving on September 3rd to get in a little early before training camp starts and get on the ice and get settled in. So I'm all ready to roll on game day, our first day of training camp.
So you come into last season, you'd played 2 NHL games. Now that number has more than quadrupled. You're at 21, played 19 games. Does that ease the stress going into training camp?
I don't know. For me, it's always the same. I just try to prepare as best as I can during the summer. For me, knowing that I put in the work and done everything I could in the off season gives me tons of confidence going into it. And, I trust my abilities on the ice. For me, it's just about keep doing the right things. And training camp is a great opportunity to compete. And there's, obviously I'm going to do everything I can to make the management have a tough decision to make. And just learn as much as I can wherever I am. I'm just going to, do my best and, long term, get better and, whenever my chance comes and all that, I'm going to be more developed than I am now and even better for the Sens.
Yeah, we're fired up to see what you have in store this season. Now, you're in Denmark now during the off season. Do you have a crew of guys that you're going on the ice with? What's kind of your off season schedule back home?
Yeah, we've been lucky to join my hometown pro team, All Board Pirates. Okay. We're able to skate with them because we're not a big group of guys here. But me and Nikolai Ehlers from Winnipeg Jets are skating together and working out together every day. So it's been great. Obviously going home and seeing family and friends and just seeing everybody back home here. It's been great. But when this time of year rolls around, it's everybody's eager to get back and get back into it. So I'm pumped. I think with the experience I got last year is I feel that it gave me a lot going into the summer and a lot of things for me to work on. So it's just been having a great time preparing as best as I can.
So I got so excited to say that it's your third time on the show. Each summer of the last 3 years, we've been lucky enough to chat with you. With you goalies, we like to leave you alone during the year. Don't want to ask a whole lot. Just do your thing. I forgot to mention, this guy's the NHL's Rookie of the Month for February. You came in red hot there. Your first road game, you're at the Bell Center. Was that a step up even with the atmosphere and everything that comes with playing in Montreal? Was that a special game for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Growing up, I think you can't think of a bigger guy than Carey Price to watch, and haven't watched as much as I have of him. To go out and play against that team that he used to play on, that was very special. Going into that building, I talked to lots of guys about it, and you can hear the fans as soon as Montreal gets the puck over the red line. They're almost sounding like it's a big chance. So it's an awesome building. I was just fortunate to get the call and was able to play a game and we got the win. So I was really happy with it.
Man, you got a ton of wins, 4-0-1 in your first 5 decisions last year. Of course, you went in for Anton after he suffered that horrible double MCL injury against Edmonton right after the All-Star break. And you came into a very wild stretch, right? You guys had that comeback win in your first start against Calgary where DeBrincat ties it and then Stutzel scores in overtime. Then you get to watch, and we're going to get into more of your games, but we have to talk because we talked to Luciano Mandolese, then we talked to Kevin about it. But you guys had 3 total NHL starts under your belt between the two of you when Mando started on Long Island. Take me through how you played a supporting role in Mando's big night.
I remember So I remember we played Calgary the night before, and we were driving in separate cars, like to the airport, and like we called each other like as soon as we left the rink. So we were talking to each other all the way like to the airport, and then we sat next to each other on the plane and on the bus when we landed in New York to the hotel, and then we chatted again the next day, like on the game day. And he was obviously nervous, but for me it was just about like the one thing I remembered from my first game was just that you never know how many opportunities you're going to get to play in the best league in the world. And I remember my dad being probably more nervous than I was for my first game. And I remember telling him, you know what, if I give up 8 goals tonight on 8 shots and I get pulled, it doesn't matter. I played in the NHL. Like I can say that what I dreamt of as a kid, I've achieved. Like I've played in the NHL. So I just told him, like, for me, like when I did it, when I had my first game, I remember that game. I remember like how I felt doing the small TV timeouts and all that. Like soak it all in. Yep. It doesn't matter if you play 1,000 or 500 NHL. You only get one first NHL game. So whatever happens. Just go out and enjoy it. And I probably went over that speech about like 5-6 times because we chatted so much about it, and it was just so awesome. And then to see him, like, I talked to Ian Cox about it, the equipment manager, before the game as well, and we both were like, he's so nervous, but it's like good nervous. So you could just tell, like, as soon as he gets his first shot, as soon as he gets that, like, oh, it's just another game, he's going to be unreal. Like, and he was. It was crazy to watch, and so happy for him. And he went to the bench, and I just laugh, and I told him that, hey, take a look around, look at this. Like, this is pretty cool. It's fun. And I tell him, have some fun. Like, just laugh with him. And, it was fun to see. He was having a smile on the entire night. Doesn't matter what happened. And I think that's the best game I've ever watched him play. And it was so cool. And then to see him finish it off in a shootout too, like, it was so cool. And like such a special moment to share with one of your best buddies, to see that. It was just awesome. I was so happy for him, and we still chat about it now. Like, just having that, like I said, that special moment together was, just made it really special for me as well.
Hope you're enjoying our conversation with Mads. We'll get right back to it. But first, a word from our friends at the FanDuel Sportsbook.
Yep, you guys already know that FanDuel is the trusted online sportsbook of the Locked On Podcast Network, and for a good reason. They're North America's #1 sportsbook. Why go with anyone else but the best? And you'll be able to find that out for yourself. Check out their app on your mobile device. It's safe, secure, super easy to use. It's easily my favorite sports betting app. And if you're new to FanDuel or new to online sportsbooks, now's the time to get started. Take your first swing at betting MLB on FanDuel and get 10 times your first bet amount in bonus bets up to $200. So put $20 in, you'll land $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. All you have to do is sign up today. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get up to $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official partner of Major League Baseball.
Today's episode is also brought to you by our friends at the GLEBE Central Pub. It's right in the heart of the Glebe, right in Ottawa. If you're going to Lansdowne to the market on the weekend, or a Red Blacks game, or Atletico Ottawa, whoever you're supporting in the area, great place to stop on the way is the GLEBE Central Pub. Great food, tasty drinks, and they always create a lively atmosphere, whether it's tomorrow's live music with Allaire and Dunn. That's going to be a blast. They also have great beer specials whenever you're watching the Red Blacks there at the Glebe Central Pub. So make sure you stop by at 779 Bank Street and give them a follow on social media as well. They're very good at announcing upcoming events at the Glebe Central Pub. For tomorrow's Allaire and Dunn concert, no cover, no minimum, just great vibes inside of the Glebe Central Pub. I'm already looking forward to my trip to the Glebe Central Pub, and you can too by going to 779 Bank Street. And when you do, make sure you let them know that Locked On Senators sent you. That's great food, tasty drinks right in the heart of the Glebe. Go check them out, 779 Bank Street, and let them know Locked On Senators sent you. All right, back to our interview. Here's Mads Søgaard.
Yeah, when we talked to Mando, we brought up, like, usually when you're a young goalie, like, there's a veteran goalie there that, you know, has years of experience that you can lean on and things like that. But for you guys, it was so unique, and it was such a cool story because you're two young guys, but also, like you mentioned, like, you guys are really good friends. So was it kind of just like the feeling like, hey, this is just like being back in Belleville? Like, sure, the lights are brighter, there's more fans and things like that, but hey, we're just the two same dudes, and we just got to stop some pucks out here.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, we just almost took it as like as a cool road game, right? Like,
nice.
Not the building we usually play in, but we come and we support each other whenever there's a TV timeout, and try to keep each other loose and make sure that that we're not thinking too much. We're just going out there and doing what we're supposed to do. You know, we're really good on holding each other accountable of doing the right things, like preparing for games and all that. So I think that, you know, whether it's me or him in net, like, you know, we're prepared and we've done everything we could to set ourselves up for success. So, like, don't stress about it. Just go out and have some fun. Like, it doesn't matter, like, what it is. Like, it's pretty cool that we get to, you know, to share that. And, you know, like I said, you could just tell as soon as he got that first save, it was like, oh yeah, he's there. He's got it. It doesn't matter. He's moving well. Everything was good. Like, yeah, it was easy to see, like, early on.
One of my favorite stories of all of last season, that, and then Dylan Ferguson coming in, stopping 47 in his first game. Like, there's some magic pixie dust with you guys coming up. Now, you got to back up for the home opener. I'm right about that? Were you up for the home opener? You're on, because Talbot was out, right?
No, I didn't. I didn't back up. They brought in that Hellberg.
Oh, right. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Question that I was going to ask the better atmosphere between home opener and the Chris Neil night. So I'll just go to the Chris Neil night, where I know you got to start that one. Like, what's it like being a part of those ceremonies? Not only kind of seeing the respect that former Senators have, and maybe, hey, one day I can build a legacy and have that same vibe, but also you're looking at it from a standpoint of a goalie. Like, you've got your mental preparation throughout. Like, does that kind of throw a wrench in it, having those ceremonies? And how do you alternate your preparation knowing the game's going to start a little bit later?
Yeah, like, it's very different, right? Like, you know, you sit out on the bench for quite a while, and then right after you go into warm-ups. For me, like, you know, definitely changed up the routines, I guess you can say, but you can't really do too much about it, right? Like, that's such a special moment, and you just got to find a way to play hockey. Like, you can't think too much about that. And, you know, for me to be able to be a part of that special night for him too was a very special moment for me during this season as well. So yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it was tough that we couldn't get the win for him because we really wanted that. And yeah, it's just it was a little unfortunate, but you know what? It was a really cool night, and he got the respect that he deserves. And yeah, it's just awesome to be a part of. And you know, those small moments are the things that you look back on here in the summertime, that, you know, you get to participate in those kind of events. And yeah, I mean, it's obviously cool to play the games, but those extra little things, like, you know, Mando playing his first game, and, you know, Chris Neil night, or Giroux scoring his 1,000 points, like, those are the things you remember and think back and have a good smile at.
Dude, how about Chris Neil leaving through the penalty box? I thought that was so class. That was
like, that's so him, right? Like, that's just so fitting. So it was awesome. And yeah, it was like, even for me, when he came in and read the starting lineup, and he was reading my name out on his special night, was something I won't forget as well. So yeah, just special night, and lucky to be a part of it.
Yeah, that was an awesome night. I got the jersey retirement hanger banner right there. So that's a night I'll always remember as well. Yeah. Now, I wanted to chat with you. You played 22 games in Belleville and 19 in the NHL. So you basically split your time between the AHL and NHL. As a goalie, how much kind of synergy is there between the goalie coach in Belleville and the goalie coach in the NHL? Like, is there a big difference what they're working on? Are they kind of chatting with each other like, hey, I've been working with Mads with this, like keep on going with that? Do they have completely different kind of ideas and setup and drills, or what's the difference there?
I mean, maybe there's a little bit of difference in terms of drills, but we all have the same philosophy on how to play.
Okay.
Which is great. Like that's what's great in training camp, right? You get to do like you play a preseason game and you get to go and review it with both goalie coaches, and then you get a really good chat going and talk about different situations, and they bring it up or I bring it up, right? Like it's pretty cool. Like I think both guys are extremely good at what they're doing, and help me out a lot, both like off the ice and on the ice, and it's just been awesome. And I came to Ottawa to work with Berkey, and I drove to Toronto to skate with Petey. So nice. I get to work with both, and are two guys that I really think can and already have helped me with my game. So just very lucky to have those guys around, and have them on an everyday basis is something that you definitely take note of and listen to what they're saying and trying to implement it as good as you can.
What's something that maybe the average fan wouldn't expect in your day-to-day routine? We just see on the ice, we see the mental preparation. You're famous going to the bench an hour and a half before the game with your stick and just sitting there and taking it all in. But what's something maybe that maybe would surprise some that you go through each and every day?
I don't know. Like that's a good question, honestly. I don't think there's anything too special. Like, I mean, I have an iced coffee going to the game. I don't know if that's
oat milk, cream. What do you put in it?
I do oat milk.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's probably the only thing. And yeah, I don't know. Like it's different in the NHL because that's like going to the bench. I've done that for the past 6 years or something like that. So, and no one's ever noticed. And now like my parents are talking about it and my girlfriend's noticing it, and it's like, yeah, just let me do me, and like that, no cameras, please, just let me do my eye exercises and focus. So but no, I don't think there's anything too special going on. Like I like to stretch a lot, like before like just on an everyday basis. I like to feel loose, and recovery is a big part of my day-to-day life, even when hockey's not in season or anything. It's just I like to take care of my body, and I like to treat us or to eat as healthy as I can, and it's been good. I have a good girlfriend that helps me with all that too. So nice. I got very lucky there.
So who's a guy, whether it's on Belleville or NHL, that has a funny pre-game routine? Like any superstitious guys that you're like, oh, here, like start the clock. Here goes this guy doing his thing.
Well, Crooker has to be one of them.
Crooker is one we've heard has his routine.
Gets dressed like 40 minutes before. Like Fergie too. Like I remember when he was playing his first game in Pittsburgh. I'd never played with him before, so that's my first game playing with him. And I go do like an hour and a half before I go to the bench to sit and do it, because it doesn't matter if I'm playing or not. I always prepare the same.
Yeah.
So I do my eye exercise, and I get off the bench, and there's usually about like maybe at that time it'd be maybe 35 minutes to warm up starts, and I go in, and the locker room is like next door down the tunnel in Pittsburgh, and I go in through the locker room. So it's 35 minutes, and Fergie's like putting his pads on, like he's done everything before. I was like, and I went over to him, he's had his headphones on and everything. I was like, like the time, there's like 35 minutes. Like, yeah, no, I'm all good. And he's such a dialed in guy, like, so I'm like, okay, you just do like that's fine. But I couldn't believe how early he got dressed. Like, okay, I know I'm on the other end. I get dressed as fast as I can, just because I feel then like my warm up like goes over to the ice and I feel warm on the ice. I feel if I sit
you can transition better. Yeah, you're not just hanging around. Yeah.
He was like getting dressed 45 minutes before going on the ice. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. Like, I seriously thought that he thought we were going on at like 30 or something like that when we go on at, I think, 16 or something like that.
Yeah.
I could not believe it. And I like kept thinking, like, all through my warm up, like, he must be like, his feet must be killing him right now. So yeah, that's probably the one. And yeah, like same with Crooker. Crooker like goes out and stands like in the hallway for 10 minutes or something like that. I don't even
like staring darts through. Like I walked by when you guys were in Manitoba last year, and he looks like he's ready to commit a murder. Like he's dialed in. It's awesome.
And then like when I got called up, not this year, but the year before, I remember skating around in warm-ups and like I was backing up in Montreal, and the last drill had just finished. So everybody's just going around shooting into the empty net. And I remember there's a couple pucks laying. So I just took a puck and fired in the open net. And then I did it again. And then Tim Stutzel, he was yelling on the ice. He's like, "So what are you doing?" I'm like, I didn't look. So he was like collecting pucks because he's shooting a certain amount of pucks. So I was stealing Timmy's pucks, and he just like, "This guy's stealing my pucks out here." Like, I was like, "Oh, sorry, I'm not used to this."
All right, guys. Hope you're enjoying our chat with Mads, a hashtag goalie friendly show. Always a good time. But we got to let you know about one of our favorite sponsors, Ross's favorite sponsor.
Oh, I'm itching to get in here and talk about Shawarma Palace. And I was actually talking off camera with Mads. He's telling me his favorite place in Ottawa to eat is Shawarma Palace. Of course it is. How could it not be? You're also never too far away from a Shawarma Palace by having Uber Eats, the exclusive delivery partner of Shawarma Palace. They also have 7 locations in Ottawa scattered across town. They have the 3 downtown. You can get one at Bank and Hunt Club. You can get one all the way out in Orleans. Shout out Orleans, all you people out there. And you can also get one, you lucky cats, at Carleton University right in the food court. Or if you're shopping at Saint Laurent Shopping Center, you can go there too. Now, why is Shawarma Palace the best place to go in Ottawa for shawarma? Well, just think of the history. 1997, they opened their doors and they've expanded ever since. So a sign of recurring guests like we have with Mads Søgaard. But also, when you go to Shawarma Palace, you know you're not going to get skimped on the portion size. It's always extremely generous and fresh, whether you're talking about the salad in the platter or you're talking about the hummus, the garlic sauce, everything that comes with it, the pickled turnips, the fresh pita, all of it just creates this synergy of delicious energy. So go fill yourself at Shawarma Palace. Eat like a royal. Eat today at Shawarma Palace.
Now let's get back to our chat with Mads Søgaard.
Oh, man. Montreal fans must have loved that. They give it to him pretty good there, hey?
Yeah, like I think it went like a little under the radar, but yeah, he was coming off warm. He's like, "So what are you doing?" I'm like, "Sorry, man. I didn't know."
What's he like now? Because, you see him come in and he was like a young kid. Now he must be comfortable. I mean, he's putting up 90 points. Like, was there one moment maybe that you saw, whether it was from the bench or from the crease, where you're like, wow, this guy's a superstar?
Just every day. Like, it's like you can't even like pick one moment because he just brings it every day. Like, it's crazy to see the stuff he does, like with and without the puck, and it's just crazy. Like, he's such a good player, and it's just it's crazy that you get to see that, like, and play with a guy like that. And you definitely think twice when he's coming in on you, because he can do whatever with the puck. So just have a chance to play with a guy like, and just the way he is off the ice too. He's just he's a guy with confidence, but he's one of the nicest guys. And he even offered me to stay with him, like, while I was up as well. Just my family was coming, so it was a little bad timing, but otherwise he was willing to let me stay with him too. So he helped me a lot, like both on and off the ice. So that's it's so cool to be around a guy like that. And you definitely learn from him every day because he certainly brings it.
One of my favorite moments from him last season was actually that win against Calgary, your first win of the season. Yeah. I think he had 2-1, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 2-2, and he came after. He said that was the worst game I've ever played. Like, just so hard on himself, eh? But that's what happens, right? Like,
obviously he cares, like he must be caring about like points for sure. Like I think every player does, but he's more like focused on the process. Like you said, he comes off the ice and is 2 goals and 1 assist or the other way.
Include two assists in the last 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah,
from down 3-1 to tied, and then scores the overtime winner.
And he's like, "That's my worst game," right? Like that's because he's so focused. Like that's just, but you get to see that on an everyday basis, and I don't think there's anyone harder on himself than him. So it's awesome to be around a guy like that, and like I said, just when you're around guys like that, you just try to soak it all in and learn as much as you can. And whatever you can take from that, you definitely take.
Dude, you're hard on yourself too, man. You got to give yourself a break every once in a while. We see after the games, like, it's on me. It's my fault. What'd you think of the captain saying he's our guy after that game? And I got to ask you about that goal first. You know what? How long do you have to cover the puck for before they blow the whistle? That Colorado game?
Yeah.
You had it for 5 seconds.
That was wild.
That was tough, right? But, it is what it is. I mean, you can't really I don't even know I don't have any words for it. I don't know what to say to it. It's just I thought I had it. That's
You had it.
That's all I got to say. I don't want to.
Yeah, you don't need to say anything. But the thing that pissed me off the most is you had it, you held it, and everyone did the plays over type body posture. Like everyone's like skating away, everyone's like stopping, and then I forget who it is, but that Colorado Avalanche player that just kept digging. Like
I'll tell you who it is because it was Lars Eller, so it was another Danish guy.
Oh, true, yeah. So did you chat with him after the game about it, or have you guys exchanged words?
Like,
or
after that game, there's a lot of things going on because I think there's a lot of people wanting to hear what I thought about the goal, and just didn't do media that day. And I didn't agree on it, but at the end of the day, I don't get to make the call, so I'm just gotta maybe hold it for a little bit longer next time.
So you don't have to say it, but we will. This is the title of our episode. The day after that happened. The thumbnail, you can read it yourself there. And the title is "Incompetent Refereeing Highlights Senators Lost to Colorado Avalanche."
Oh my goodness!
We had your back there, bro.
I like it.
Hey, when you're a 3-time guest, you're a friend of the show. We're your pit bulls, man. You don't have.
I love it.
And we're a goalie-friendly show. We'll always look after the tendies.
I love it.
Now, you talked about Tim Stutzel and kind of his and what he's like being around on the team. What can you tell us about a guy like Claude Giroux? Like, that must have been, like, we talked about it when he was coming to Ottawa and all throughout the season. Like, he just seemed like the exact piece that this team needed. Like, sure, you've got the young studs, Brady, Timmy, Thomas Chabot. You've got all these guys that are up and coming. But it really seemed like this team needed a veteran that can just add their wealth of experience to the team. Tell us a little bit what Claude was like hanging around every day.
He's awesome. Like, he's such a nice guy. And, just like the biggest thing with him is I think that when he's not playing his best game, he still finds a way to bring something. Yeah. Like, there's not one game I can think of where he didn't like bring something. Like he just has like when you're not on your A game, like he has like unbelievable B game. Yeah. Like he doesn't, like he's not far off. So I think just like how he does it and how he prepares and all that, it's like, he's just like a pro athlete. He's like the definition of a pro athlete. And to be around guys like that, it's special. And for me to like, that's probably one of the most special moments for me during the season was when he scored his 1,000 point. Like, I don't even have words for it. It's just so cool. And, to hear the roar he got from the crowd after, like, he deserves all of that. And, he was really good to me, like, throughout my time up and helping me into the league. He always found a way to put a smile on my face and joke around and all that. So he's just the definition of a pro and just someone that everybody looks at if he speaks, everybody listens because, you know, he's that guy.
No doubt. And I heard he's pretty competitive. Is it sewer ball you guys are playing, pickleball? What do you guys have going on as a team right now, and where do you fit in the leaderboard?
I think some of the guys are playing pickleball and sewer ball, but they usually played before the game, and
You got the eyes.
I'm a little goalie, so I got my own routine going on, but so not too in with that, but me and Mando used to
play rock, paper, scissors or what?
No. We would do we played ping pong against each other every day.
Nice.
And we'd trick ourselves into thinking it would help us on the ice and all that. So yeah, we had a really good time with that, and yeah, it was fun. So I think I got the best of him, but we'll see. Maybe he comes back this year stronger.
Well, you cover like the entire length of the table. I mean, it's kind of an unfair reach advantage, I'd say.
Yeah.
Mando's not a small guguy either.
Fair.
My billet family was just in Denmark this week from Medicine Hat because my billet mom is Danish.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So they were just in Denmark. So I went to visit them, and my former billet dad wanted to play ping pong against me, and like we just like started playing a little bit. He's not the tallest guy. So I put one just over the net, and he like jumped on the table to go get it. Like it was hilarious to see, but yeah, just fun. I like playing ping pong. I think it's like I get competitive with it too. So yeah, I like it.
Awesome. That's awesome. I've just got a couple more for you. I think Pilsey's got one more too. I want to ask about Craig Anderson because he's obviously retired now. I think you got one, if not two, training camps with him. Do you have any memories of kind of meeting him or him helping you into your first couple camps?
Yeah, like, I mean, my first camp, we all went to former goalie coach Pierre Giroux. We went to his house for dinner. So all the goalies went there, which was great. You know, he's a great guy. I think the biggest thing for me, like watching a guy like that is like, it's unbelievable how good he like reads the game. Like it's crazy. And, you know, some of the equipment guys, on Ottawa would tell me that like some days he'd come to practice and say, I'm only making stick saves today. And he just like bat away pucks with his stick and he'd like do it. Right. Like,
wow.
And players would get a little annoyed because he's making saves that way. And it's like, it shouldn't be like, it's just the NHL.
We got to ask Mark, remember to ask Meth about that next time we have him on.
Yeah. I can't remember who told, like one of the equipment staff guys told me that he'd like go to morning skate and he would like, sometimes he'd do that. And it would work, like, which is crazy.
Dude,
he's so for me to play my last game like of the season, like playing against him, just you know, to see what it meant to him, and yeah, I think it was very fitting for him to play his last game against Ottawa, where you know, he was a star for many years here, and you know, all the way up until he left the club, I think. So yeah, just awesome to get an opportunity to play in a game like that against him, and you know, shake his hand after and let him know that he's been a big role model for me, and someone that I looked to on my first camp, and he was there to help me out. So very, very cool moment. And I mean, doesn't matter if it's the last game or not, I still like to get the win, but it is what it is. And you know, happy for him, and obviously wish him all the best going forward. And yeah, I you know, you just look at those guys, like I said, you know, you talk about the guys early, and you just try and learn from those guys, and you know, to be at a camp with Craig is something that I was very happy I got the opportunity to do and learn from him, because he's one of the good ones.
Yeah, greatest goalie in Sens history, bar none. For my money. Who mentioned? Was it Brady's idea? Who's mentioned to stay out there and shake Craig's hand after the game?
I don't remember, honestly. I think it was. I think it was like just like everybody knew that was going to happen.
Awesome moment. Like you talked about the Giroux goal. Like that's one of the best moments of the year for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You know, I just think everybody knew that was going to happen, I think maybe some guys forgot about it, and went down to the locker room, and they made sure to come straight back because, there's some things that are bigger than hockey, and he's done so much for the organization of Ottawa, and I think the least we can do, whether or not we won or lost, is shake his hand and give him a hug and let him know what he did for our organization and helped us to where the organization is at today. So that's honestly the least we can do, and I think it's pretty cool for me to look back on and say that like you guys just said that I actually got to play against the best goalie in Sens history.
Oh yeah, Andy's the man. Absolutely. Mads has been awesome. Thanks so much for your time. Last question for me. I'm always interested in hearing guys that are getting a taste of NHL experience. So what was your favorite road game? Like, what was a road game where you're like, oh, wow, maybe you've never been to that city, you've never been to that arena, or you just had a great game and it felt good to get the W. What was your favorite road game in the NHL last year?
I want to say
Chicago.
I actually didn't play in Toronto.
No, Chicago. Pilsy.
Chicago.
Pilsy
I said favorite road game.
Pilsy was at that game. I'm more giving it to Pilsy.
Oh, yeah, that was my favorite. Let's just put it. I would say either Seattle or Montreal, I think. Seattle, just because I thought it was so funny. They had two of those Jumbotrons or whatever.
Yeah, true. That is weird.
Yeah, that kind of threw me off first because, you look at it and you're looking at, the tip of it. So that was very weird, but it felt really cool. And I don't know, for me, it sounds so weird, but I kept thinking of when I was a little kid and I'd make my own team in NHL and do different colors because you're not used to seeing those colors on an NHL team. So I would be in the game and I think I'm playing against someone that made a team seeing this, but the atmosphere is great and it was a cool building to play in. And yeah, Montreal, we talked about it earlier here, that's just a special building. And very cool to get the chances that I got. And, definitely going into the summer leaves a guy more hungry than ever. So I've done my best to prepare as good as I can now. I'm just excited to get going.
Hey, too bad Dax wasn't in net there against you in Seattle. Would that have been a cool experience?
That would have been awesome. That would have been awesome. That would have been the cherry on top for sure.
Hey, good for him. Hey, one-way contract next year. That's awesome.
I texted him. I'm so happy for him. I texted him as soon as I saw it. It's he's so deserving of it to see him what he did with Coachella this year and see him get that close to winning a championship. I was rooting for him. But you know what? He did very well, and he's going to continue doing that because he's a very good goalie, and I don't think it's going to be long until he's going to be full-time in the NHL.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Well, he was drafted a few years before you, man, so just keep on the same trajectory. But my final question for you, and we just got asked, and it's a brief one, but when the Sens signed Korpisalo, what's your immediate reaction to that? And have you had any chance to interact with him throughout the summer?
Yeah, no, I haven't talked to him. But, for me, it's like I said, I'm just, you definitely have an idea of something's going to happen. You don't know what it is, but I didn't think too much about it. I'm just excited to get to know him and excited to work with him as well. And, guys like that are someone that you can learn from and you want to learn from. So for me, it's just about competing even harder and, make it, like I said early on, make it a tough decision for the management, whatever's going to happen. So, just, excited to get back to work and excited to, keep pushing for the goal here.
Yeah, well, 7 goalies played for Ottawa last year, so it's not that he comes in, you're not going to get your opportunity, man. Just keep it up. We appreciate you for being a friend of the show. Your brother is a superstar broadcaster in the making. So
he'll join you anytime.
Yeah, damn right. We'll have to get the inside scoop. He needs to share some recipes from the bakery for us too. But no, such a beauty, great family, man, and we're excited to see. Hey, final question. Can you unveil the mask? What's coming on the helmet?
Ooh, yeah.
You know what? I will have something for you guys later on. I'll let you guys know. But
Can we break it? Can you send us a picture? We'll put it on Twitter.
for sure, no
Okay.
problem.
I'm
But yeah,
holding
like
you
I
up.
texted them today, and I think they're still waiting for my like for the mask to arrive at the studio. So
Okay.
I'll have to wait. I asked them today, but it shouldn't take too long. And yeah, you guys can break it whenever you guys want.
Wait,
Nice.
did I just see it? Someone just okay. No, there's red on it. Phew! I thought Mando was going with the all white pads this year. What's your setup gonna look like?
It's gonna be more white this year. You know what? I love that it was red, but it was just a little like it sounds weird, but there's too much going on when I look down on it. So it's gonna be more white, probably more boring, but more white and yeah, a little simple but classic. Let's say that.
All
Okay,
right,
nice.
simple but classic. There's the theme for the year. Mads, have a great rest of your summer, man. Safe travels to Ottawa, and we look forward to seeing you at main camp in less than a month.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, stick taps to Mads for joining us. Really fun conversation. And Pilsy, the best part of it is we are going to get to break Mads Søgaard's new helmet on our Twitter at Sens Central.
Yeah, we love talking goalie gear, and I can't wait to see what Mads comes up with. And just quickly, Ross, speaking of goalie gear, how about the newest work from Shifty on Joey Decord's helmet in Seattle? My God, that thing looks fresh.
It looks really nice. It's talent personified when you look at what Shifty does. A helmet painter who we actually had on the show. So if you want to go check out his latest work for Joey Decord, you can go find that on our Twitter at Sens Central as well. This is a great gear time of year for all you gear nerds out there, myself included, when guys are switching. We already saw Thomas Chabot is now a Bauer guy. He's been CCM forever, whereas Timmy went from Bauer to CCM. So a little 1-for-1 trade there. But let's talk about Tim Stützle, because he was number 1 for the Athletics list of top Ottawa Senators, 23 and under. So Brady Tkachuk has graduated. He'll be 24 in less than a month. Like, they got to get to the playoffs for Brady at this point. Let's be serious.
For all of us.
I'm just going to go through it and let me know if the ranking is like, I don't know. The team ranks 7th, and that in large part is because Tim Stützle and Jake Sanderson are 1 and 2. Corey Cronman calls Tim Stützle an elite NHL player. Jake Sanderson, a bubble NHL All-Star and top of the lineup player. They have Shane Pinto at number 3, slightly ahead of Ridley Gregg. Then Mads Søgaard at number 5. They have him as a starting goalie tier, which is really nice to see. Then it's Zach Ostapchuk at 6, Tyler Boucher at 7, Tyler Kleven at 8, Oscar Pettersson at 9, Lassie Thompson 10, Roby Yarventi 11, and then the rest has a chance to play. So my biggest qualm here, 2 of them actually, like, what's Levi Merilainen done to not get any respect? This guy just led a men's league in shutouts last year, one of the best leagues in the world. I think that he needs a little bit more. Maybe that year in Kingston skewed him when he had Ben Roger and others being on his decor. And then you look elsewhere. Stephen Halliday, we discussed with him, 3 guys had more assists than him in the Big Ten last year, and they're all top 5 picks. So I don't know how Stephen Halliday is getting disrespected like this.
Yeah, and like Levy played in the NHL last year and had some time in the AHL. I think maybe he just didn't want to put 2 goalies on the list. I don't know if that's a factor. People not showing enough love to the tendies, classic. Maybe the one.
It's not like it's a top 10 though, Pilsy. Like Roby was 11th, so it's
yeah,
like
fair.
It's almost like he got to decide the cutoff.
I think maybe you just want to see a bigger sample size from Levy. Although, I mean, he played Liga, like that's a pro league, and he dominated. So that's a fair kind of qualm. I think maybe the one thing I would do is flip Tyler Boucher and Tyler Kleven. I think I would have Tyler Kleven 1 spot ahead, just because again he's got NHL games under his belt, and he looks like he's already poised to have a chance to get an NHL spot as soon as this season. Now, I'm not saying that's impossible for Tyler Boucher, but Tyler Boucher's got to stay healthy, and he's got to have some consistency in the AHL, I think, before he gets his chance in the NHL.
Yeah, I'm going to bet on him, though. I'm really excited.
Oh, yeah. Don't get it twisted. This isn't Tyler Boucher downplaying his ability. This is more upplaying Tyler Kleven.
Yeah, no, very fair. I love that. Pillsy, any final thoughts on today's show?
Final thoughts for me are I'm just excited to get things going here. Like the off season is fun, but like once the draft is done, once all the free agent hype is done, now we're just kind of hanging around waiting for the RFAs and Sokolov and Pinto to get signed. And I want to keep things moving and get to the season here. Let's go.
Well, I'm glad you brought up RFAs, right? Because we had a few signings yesterday. Some of the bigger ones were a year out with Austin Matthews, most notably, but Evan Bouchard has signed.
Yeah.
Alexis Lafreniere has signed 2 years, $2.3 million. It's getting to be a pretty bare bones list of RFAs who haven't signed. Shane Pinto, Trevor Zegras, and Jamie Drysdale leading the pack right now as guys who are tick-tock with camp right around the corner. My final thoughts, I want to give a shout out to the Ottawa Senators for making a $75,000 donation to the Ottawa Food Bank in order to provide over 21,300 meals to food insecure families in Ottawa. I really, really like when the Sens do things in the community, and this is just another example. They will also be addressing this immediate need by inviting fans to bring non-perishable items to upcoming Canadian Tire Center events. So whether you're there for a concert, a comedy show, whatever, if you have any non-perishable food items that you're willing and able to give, then all the best.
Is that for every game, Ross?
No, it just says for events for now. Obviously, the next game for a few weeks, but there's certainly going to be concerts and other things. So, the doors to the CTC are still open despite no ice yet.
Yeah, can't wait for ice in there. Ooh.
Next week, organizational value rankings. We're getting to it. So stay tuned for all that. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you for listening. And a reminder, you can share that link with the ticket deal with anyone in your family, your friend circle. It's all available. A little hat tip from us here at LOSP for all the support. Over 1,000 videos on YouTube now, over 1,000 episodes if we're including the postcast, and can't wait for season 5. For Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. This has been the Locked On Senators podcast, your team every day.